My tongue is blue because I'm drinking a blue slushie. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie and today is Top 5 Wednesday. If you are new to Top 5 Wednesday, I will leave the Goodreads group down in the description below. This week's topic is books you thought you'd hate but ended up loving. And I have 5 books to share with you today that I either thought I wouldn't like to begin with and ended up liking, not necessarily loving it, or books that I thought I would love, started reading it, didn't really like it that much, but then ended up really liking it by the end of the book. For number 5, I have The Epic of Gilgamesh. Now, this one may seem like a weird one. If you're not aware of what Gilgamesh is, it's one of the first recorded written stories that we have. Now, I had to read Gilgamesh in one of my college literature classes. I believe it was called World Literature before 1600 BC. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, we had to read a lot of really old stories. And I did not expect to like Gilgamesh at all. And I ended up really liking it. It's kind of weird and a little bit harder to understand because it is so old. And then obviously it's a translated work, so things can kind of get lost in the process of translation. But I did end up really liking it. For number 4, I have another unexpected one. I have The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. I do have an associate's degree in leadership, so while I was getting my degree, I had to read a lot of books on leadership. This book is kind of different than other leadership books I had to read because instead of just listing out facts, it actually is like a fable. So it tells the story of this corporate team working together to save their company, and it goes into all the different reasons why their team isn't working, why their team is dysfunctional, and why that is causing their company to fall. And it's all about how they can fix those issues and work together to make their business thrive. I really enjoyed this one if you're into nonfiction, or if you're in some type of leadership role at work, or in any leadership position really. For number 3, I have Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. This is a book that I had to read in high school for my psychology class of all classes. This is a murder mystery novel following this detective who is on a train ride and someone ends up being murdered, and so he investigates because obviously whoever killed that person is still on the train. I did not expect to like this book, and honestly when I was in high school I hardly ever read the required reading for class, and this is one that I actually read and completely finished, which never happened. Usually even if I started a required reading, I didn't end up finishing it, but this is one of those exceptions. I didn't absolutely love it at the time, but since time has passed, I've grown to love it even more, even though I haven't reread it. The more I look back on it, the more I love the story. For number 2, I have The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. I did not know what to expect of this book, and honestly, the title is really deceiving. It's not really what I expected at all, just based off of the title. I don't remember a lot from this book, but I do remember that it follows these different circus characters and digs into their past. It is not what I expected at all, and if you're someone who is not religious or spiritual in any way, I still think you would enjoy this book because it's not really religious as the title makes it seem. I also had to read this for class in high school, and I really loved it. It is another one that broke the mold for me and required reading in high school. I actually read and finished this one. It's also a really short book if you want to give it a quick read. And for number 1, I have Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. This is the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and I really liked Daughter of Smoke and Bone. It's a super interesting fantasy world. I really enjoyed it, and I was excited to pick up this second book, but this book is really nothing like the first one, and I don't want to get into spoilers, but many of the characters are separated in this book, so I didn't enjoy that aspect. And I would say the first quarter of this book is just random war scenes from like insignificant random characters that aren't even a part of the squad, you know. So it's just like, I didn't know who these people were, and because of that I didn't care about what happened to them. I didn't care about what was going on their side of the war and where they were in the world and what was happening to them, because I didn't know who they were. They were like completely random characters and they would just jump from scene to scene. And I almost DNF'd this book, which I don't do, because I could not get past the first of this book. And I eventually trudged through it and finished it and ended up really loving it, because the end of this book absolutely blew me away. I was stunned at all the plot twists and turns that happened literally page after page. It was so good, but man, was that beginning rough. Alright, that is it for this video today. Those are the top 5 books that I thought I would hate but ended up loving, or really liking, not really loving per se. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more bookish content by me. Let me know in the comments down below what's one book that you thought you would hate and you ended up loving. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.